Good morning, students. Last class, we have discussed about the frequency hopping spread spectrum, that is FHSS. In that, we have seen the physical frame structure, physical layer frame structure. And the second version is DSS, that is direct sequence spread spectrum. Coming to the direct sequence spread spectrum, in telecommunications, this is one type of modulation technique. FHSS is one type of modulation technique. DSS is one type of modulation technique, and infrared is one type of modulation technique. Coming to this is a one type of modulation technique. This is mainly used to reduce the overall signal interference. Overall signal interference means in communication, one signal may be interfered with another signal. This particular one is used to reduce or decrease the overall signal interference. Here, the direct sequence modulation scheme makes the transmitted signal wider in bandwidth than the information bandwidth. This is about the direct sequence spread spectrum. Okay. Coming to the features of direct sequence spread spectrum, it is separated by code and achieving the 11-chip Barker sequence. It is using the 11-chip Barker sequence. Coming to the key characteristics of this DSS is robustness against interference. I told you it is used to reduce the interference in the signals, and insensitivity to multi-path propagation. Multi-path propagation means in one channel, more than one person used to transmit the data. Multiple persons are used to propagate the data. It is used in that case. Coming to the implementation, it is very difficult when compared to FHSS. The main uses of this DSS is differential binary phase shift keying, that is DBPSK, and second one is differential quadrature phase shift keying, DQPSK. Just remember about these uses, no need to discuss about this. Next, coming to the structure, this is the important one, the format of IEEE 802.11 physical frame using DSS. As this is the very similar to previous one, that is format of IEEE 802.11 physical frame using FHSS. Coming to the fields, the first it is the header field is separated. The payload is different, that is the data field, and before the payload we have two parts. One is PLCP preamble, that is physical layer convergence protocol preamble, and the second one is PLCP header. Coming to the synchronization, first field of the PLCP preamble, that is synchronization. This particular field is of 128 bits. The above numbers are in the form of is bits. And the SFD means start frame delimiter. After this field, the frame header will be started, as I told you yesterday. And the synchronization bit is used to synchronize the sender and receiver. And coming to the signal field, that is the header. The signal is in the part of header, PLCP header, physical layer convergence protocol header. This signal field indicates the which modulation scheme should be used to receive incoming MPDU. That is the binary value. That is the signal is a binary value, and this field is equal to the data rate multiplied by 100 kbps. I'm repeating once again. The signal field indicates which modulation scheme should be used to reduce the incoming MPDU. And this is a binary value, and in this field is equal to the data rate multiplied by 100 kbps. Okay, this is about the signal field in the PLCP header. Next, coming to the next field of PLCP header, that is the length field, the service field. The service field is just simple. It is not no more to discuss about it. It is just reserved for future use. If any future purpose there is any use, we can use this particular field, that is service field. Coming to the length field, the next one. This length field indicates the total number of microseconds. Note down, students. This length field indicates the total number of microseconds necessary to transmit the MPDU. I am saying repeatedly MPDU. Any one of you know MPDU? MPDU is nothing but MAC level protocol data unit. MAC level protocol data unit. Otherwise, MAC protocol data unit. MPDU. PDU means protocol data unit. MAC level protocol data unit. Okay. This length field indicates the total number of microseconds that are necessary to transmit the MPDU. Okay. And the HEC field we discussed yesterday in that FHSS also. HEC means header error check. Header error check. This will uses the use of this field is to it deals with the error control information. It deals with the error control information. And the last one is the payload field. That is the data field. Okay, this is all about the format of an IEEE 802.11 physical frame using DSSS, that is direct sequence spread spectrum. Okay, and coming to the last version, that is the infrared. We know about the infrared. It uses the visible light about 850 to 950 nanometers. In this, the no line of sight is required. The maximum range is 10 meters with no interference. The example for infrared is in our houses, all are using remote controls. This will work on the principle of infrared. That is the fourth point. Today, no product offer communication based on infrared. Proprietary products offer from 4 Mbps using diffuse of infrared light. And this communication is based on IRDA. This is just introduction about the infrared. As of now, we have discussed about DSS and FHSS. Here I told you the physical layer is having 3 layers. In the physical layer, we are having 3. One is infrared, and second one is radio transmission. Coming to the versions of physical layer, we are discussed about this is also IEEE 802.11 physical layer. In that, we have discussed about FHSS. And today we have started with the DSSS. After that, we have discussed about infrared. Okay. About infrared, you can write your own words also. Okay. About the IEEE 802.11 physical layer. Now today I'm starting with the next topic, that is the last topic in this unit is this one. The IEEE 802.11 frame structure and services. This is the last topic of the 4th unit. This is also very simple. Here, see this 802.11 max sublayer. Okay, this 802.11 max sublayer. That means in the data link layer, the below sublayer is known for IEEE 802.11 max sublayer. It provides an abstraction of physical layer to the logical link control. It provides an abstraction means, the point I'm saying is the IEEE 802.11 max sublayer provides an abstraction of physical layer to the logical link control sublayer. Why? Because this max sublayer is in between the physical layer and the logical link layer, the logical link control sublayer. This is in between. That is the meaning of it provides an abstraction of the two layers. And also it is responsible for encapsulating the frames and describing the frame formats. Okay, the major responsibility of this max sublayer is it provides an encapsulation and describing the frame formats. I mean, this is the footnote. The diagram shows you the max sublayer frame structure of IEEE 802.11. The max sublayer frame structure of IEEE 802.11. Here, this is the diagram starts here. From here to here, this is the continuation. From here, where the mouse is pointed. Coming to the main fields of frame and wireless LAN is laid down by IEEE 802.11 are shown in the diagram. Coming to the each field of the frame, the first one is frame control. Here, see here. See here. The diagram is, don't confuse students. Here, this is the first field we are discussing about is frame control. All these are the parts of frame control. The below one is all are frame control fields. Okay. Coming to the frame control, it is a 2 bytes starting. The field is composed of 11 subfields. That is nothing but this frame control is having 11 subfields. These 11 are subfields of frame control. Okay. Coming to the 11 subfields of frame control. The first one is here. My mouse is pointed. That is the protocol version. The first field is version protocol. Here, the first field is a 2-bit. The size is 2 bits, and it is set to 00. And it has been included future versions of IEEE 802.11 and operate simultaneously. Just you can remember, in a frame control, we are having 11 subfields. In the first subfield, it is version, and it is set to, initially it is set to, it is a 2-bit size. It is set to 00 for initially. Next field is type subfield. See, this is the type subfield. It is also a 2-bit subfield, 2-bit size, 2-bit subfield that specifies whether the frame is a data frame or control frame. Here, the frame is 2 types. One is data frame and one is control frame. Nothing but data frame carries the data. Control frame carries the control information. It is the control information, like error control information, flow control information, like that. Control frame is different from data frame. This type field shows whether the frame is a control frame or data frame or management frame. This management frame is also different frame. Okay. Next, after type, we are having a subtype, that is, it is a 4-bit it is the 4-bit size, and whether the field is a RTS or CTS control frame. For regular data frame, the value is set to 4 zeros. This subtype field is a 4-bit size. It is set to 4 zeros, and it uses RTS and CTS. RTS means if a station is ready to transmit the frame, first it needs to request the it needs to send the RTS frame. After getting the CTS frame, the station can able to transmit the frame. Then only the collision will be not occurred. Okay, this is about the subtype field. Next one is 2DS. That means to distribution. DS means distribution system. I told you in wireless communication. It is a distribution system. It is a single bit field indicating whether the frame is going to access point. That is not AC, that is AP, which coordinates the communication in centralized wireless systems. I told you in wireless IEEE 802.11 architecture. I told you about BSS, DSS, and access point and portal. That is, DS means distribution system. 2DS means here we are having two fields. One is 2DS and from DS. A single bit 2DS field indicating whether the frame is going to access point, which coordinates the communication in centralized wireless system. Now coming to the from DS field, it is also a single bit field indicating whether the frame is coming from access point. AC means access point, that is AP, spelling mistake. Here 2DS means whether it is going to the access point. From DS means whether it is coming from access point. And next one is, see here, we have completed till 2DS and from DS. Next one is more fragments. More fragments means it is also a single bit subfield which is set to 1, indicates that more fragments would follow. That means the fragmentation is the responsibility of data link layer, right? The data will be fragmented and sent one by one fragment. Okay, that means more fragments would follow. Next, retry. A single bit subfield which is set to 1 specifies retransmission of previous frame. That means a single bit subfield which is set to 1. Here the bit is set to 1 specifies a retransmission of previous frame. If any damage or loss occurred, it indicates the retransmission of previous frame. Next, power management. Here, power management. A single bit subfield indicating that the sender is adopting power save mode. Okay, this field indicates the power saving mode. Next one is more data. More data means a single bit is also a single bit subfield showing that the sender has further data frames for the receiver. That means it indicates the sender have to be transmitted more frames after the current frame. Okay, that indicates more data. And protected frame. It indicates the protection means encryption. Okay, indicates that is an encrypted frame. Okay, this is used for security. Next one, order. Okay, this is the last subfield. Just here, this is the see more data, protected, and lastly order. Here the order indicates, it informs the receiver that to the higher layers of frame should be in ordered sequence. All frames should be reached in order in a sequence. Okay, that the fields 11 I told you, all these fields are belonging to the frame control. Version, type, subtype, 2DS, from DS, more fragments, retry, power management, more data, protected, and order. These 11 subfields are belonging to frame control, which is having 2 bytes long. Next, coming to the next fields, see the fields here, I will explain. The next is duration, address 1, address 2, address 3, and sequence, data field, and lastly we are having check sequence. After data field, we are having the check sequence. We will discuss one by one these one. This is the duration field. It is a 2-byte field that specifies the time period for which the frame and its acknowledgement occupy the channel. See here, duration is nothing but after sending a frame, we need to expect an acknowledgement for the transmitted frame. This will indicate the time beyond within the time the transmitted frame needs to get an acknowledgement. Okay. Next, address fields. Here we are having address 1, address 2, address 3, right? There are 3 6-byte address fields. That is address 1, address 2, address 3, containing the addresses of the source and intermediate destination, not immediate destination, and final endpoint respectively. See here, why we are maintaining 3 address fields. When I'm explaining about OSI reference model, I told you the source and destination are not nearby. Okay, it may be the source may be one place and destination may be one place. In between the source and destination, we have some intermediate stations. Here we are using 3 address fields, that is address 1, address 2, and address 3. Address 1 indicates the source, address 2 indicates the immediate destination, and address 3 is the endpoint. That means in between the source and destination, we are having some intermediate destinations. These 3 are dedicated to those 3 fields. Next, sequence. Here, the sequence is also a 2-byte length field that stores the frame numbers. It detects the duplicate frames. So whenever we maintain a sequence, whenever we have transmitted a duplicated frame, it will detect the duplicate frames and determines the order of frames will be higher layers. For higher layers, among the 16 bits, the 4 bits are provided for identification, and to the fragment, and 12 bits contain the sequence number and increments at each transmission. Okay, this sequence is mainly used to detect the duplicated frames. If we transmit a duplicated frame, it will detect and it will stop the duplicated frame to be transmitted. Next field, last but one field, is data field. This is this is a payload field or data field. This is variable size and carries carries some data to the upper layers. The maximum size of data field is 2312 bytes length, 2312 length. Last field after data field, that is frame check sequence. This is error detection information. This is the frame check sequence. This is the check sequence or frame check sequence. It is used for error detection. See here, this is very, very important. This is MAC IEEE 802.11 MAC sublayer frame structure, and it is about having these fields. The frame control field is divided into 11 subfields. After that, we have duration, that is address 1, address 2, address 3, sequence, data, and finally the check sequence. Okay, this is all about the IEEE 802.11 MAC sublayer frame structure. This is end of your 4th unit, that is medium access control sublayer. In tomorrow's class, I am starting the next unit, that is the network layer. We have completed physical layer. This is the data link layer and the medium access control sublayer. The unit number 5 is about the network layer. Okay, tomorrow I will start with the design issues and the introduction about the network layer. Okay, thank you, students.